Welcome to episode 2 of Mitts Off. We are super excited to share this interview with you. Jared McCann, Seattle Kraken forward, his first time doing any sort of long-form conversation. Mitts Off is powered by Sports Interaction, our exclusive betting partner. Get in the action all summer long. Make sure you download the app to get started. 19 plus, please play responsibly. Episode 2, Mitts Off. When we talked about doing this at the start, there was a small number of guys, I'd say, that I really wanted to get in here. And one of them happened to be a guy I trained at with BioSteel for a number of years. One of the guys I always looked at, and he was a younger guy, but I almost looked up to him because of how he showed up and trained every single day. Vancouver Canucks draft pick. Been traded around a couple times, but had an incredible year, 40 rips for the Seattle Kraken last year. Stratford native, and my good friend, Jared McCann's here today. Let's go. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
No, not bad. Thanks for having me.
So you're back here in the summer. You do your training. You're in Toronto. Spend some of the time here, but kind of commute back and forth from Stratford?
Yep. From Stratford. Me and my fiance have a place outside of London. We got about 50 acres out there, so we just kind of relax when I come home from training during the week and just take it easy.
With Seattle, I'm stunned. You know, I was stunned on a regular basis covering the team, working in hockey and being an analyst. I guess flat out, how are you guys doing it there? What is there a secret sauce here? Is it coaching? Is it systems that allowed you guys to be at the position you were and not just sneak into the playoffs, but you guys came in with a vengeance, man.
Yeah. We I think it's a little bit of everything. Like we had great coaching. We really used our depth very well. We didn't have just one line that was kind of, every single night it had to be the same line. It was all 4 lines were contributing on a daily basis and every single game. So I truly feel that is what set us apart from a lot of teams, was that we were going to come at you in waves. Obviously we had a great back end too, right? Like Vince Dunn had an amazing year, and he was great, and Schultz, the new acquisition, was awesome for us, and Lars, obviously, a guy who doesn't get enough credit for the things he does there, right? And blocking shots, finishing checks, but he's got an offensive side to him, which is good. So I just feel like we have such a deep team and such a good opportunity here to just grow as a team and continue to become better.
Did you notice it in the personalities in the dressing room, in the sense of kind of what you just said, is everyone was kind of a throw-off. Everyone was kind of a castaway, and everyone's kind of got something to prove, right? Everyone's either been traded a couple times, been thrown out by their first team, or even just left exposed to be picked up here. It's essentially like Vegas, a team of guys that I don't want to say nobody wanted, but that's the truth.
Misfits,
right? Misfits. Do you notice that in the dressing room, those kind of personalities? Do you notice that in the culture?
Yeah, but it's not in a bad way. There's obviously some people who would take it differently. Obviously, just like mentally, attitude kind of just not great. So, but we have a group of character guys that, learn from one another, and obviously if one guy's down, we pick him up, right? Because, I've been in that position. I've been on the 4th line, been on the 3rd line. I've been that guy who plays 8 minutes a night, 7 minutes a night, and doesn't really, cannot get much going, right? So when you see that we have a group of guys who have been through everything, you really just kind of come together, and it came, full circle this year. Like we were a great team. We beat some of the best teams in the NHL this year too. Obviously, we handed Boston their first loss at home, I think, this year, right? And we, after that game, and I think I talked to the coaches about this, just how, that's huge for our confidence, and that's
that win against Boston in particular. Yeah. Was it in
Boston? Yeah, I think we won 3-0 or 2-0 or something like that. But we were good defensively. We got great goaltending. Gruby was awesome, and all of our goalies this year were amazing. So we just felt that we had, Martin Jones, unbelievable. Yeah. He had a great year for us. And we just felt like we had so much potential, especially after so much confidence after that game. And we just kind of carried on.
You just said you talked to the coaches about that? Like, is that something where there's open communication? I couldn't even think of talking to my head coaches about too much.
Yeah, like Hack and Paul and, the assistant coaches there. And we have an open door, kind of come in and talk if you need something to talk about. And that's something that I never had personally as a player. And I don't know if you did, but
no, not at all.
It was, was great to have that, and you can talk to him. But there's a line between obviously being a coach, right, and then being someone to talk to, a human being. So
yeah, exactly.
If you can find that line there that we have, it helps a lot.
So you talked about beating some of the best teams in the year. You meet Colorado, playoffs.
Yeah.
Before you just walked in this door, I watched the hit again. For me, it's completely unnecessary. It's completely not a hockey play. And this is the thing when I watch it, even in slow-mo, is Cale has 2 to 3 seconds to think about what he's going to do. And he still goes through with it anyway, right? And finishes like with your head in the glass. Like, you've had some time to kind of sit back and, let's stew on that, let's call it, for a little bit. What do you think? What did you think about that?
I obviously a little late. During the play there, when I had the breakaway, I was at the end of the shift on the PK there, and I shot the puck, and I watched the puck go to play, and then I kind of turned, and then it just things went a little wonky for me. So I don't know him personally. I really don't. Haven't talked to him or anything like that.
He didn't reach out or anything like that?
No. It's playoff hockey. I get it. I'm not going to hold it against anybody or anything like that, right? And I'm just going to kind of try to move forward. And, it definitely did suck not being able to be out there with my teammates.
I didn't agree with the 1-game ban, first of all. But I think the hardest part of the whole thing for you was you had to sit back and watch from the stands after you've battled with your team all year, a massive part of their success. And you have to sit and watch the rest of the Colorado series and the first 4 games of the Dallas series. And you got to sit back and watch that with an injury, but at such a crucial point in the season, man, emotions.
Yeah, it was tough. I had to sit on the couch for a week straight and just kind of, I wasn't really allowed to watch TV for a while there. So, I was just kind of in my own thoughts and just talking to people, that kind of thing. And it was tough mentally for sure. Obviously, head injuries are scary. You've had concussions. You've had a couple concussions. So it's a little bit scary, but
it's emotional, man.
It's very emotional. After being hit, I was just like, I wasn't crying, but I was just like, what the hell's going on? I was pissed. I was just a roller coaster of emotions, but it's like, why am I feeling this way? And then you realize
my last one in the minors, I was crying my eyes out too. Yeah. And
it's scary. But we have an amazing medical staff in Seattle. And, I took my time with it. I just and then one day I felt great. Yeah. Like I woke up, I felt, back to 100%. And then I kind of started working my way back. But it was very tough to watch, my teammates who were grinding again and not being able to help. But, they played amazing. They really did. We had some players come up. Ty Cartier, obviously, good Sioux boy.
Sioux boy, there you go.
Sioux boy, and
it's kind of like that next man up mentality there. Hey, it's that's like the next guy's going to come in and play the same way. He's not going to put up as many maybe as points, but he's going to bring that same attitude and work ethic, right?
Oh, and he did an amazing job for us. He really did. He's another guy who I'm pretty sure he was undrafted in the NHL, who was a signing by Ron, and just came in and fit right into our system and just contributed to the team. So it was good to see. But yes, it was very tough for me mentally to get back, and because I missed being with the guys. It was tough. But
what was the light at the end of the tunnel for you? Was it seeing the guys winning?
Yeah,
was there
that game 7? Like I was.
That's what kept you kind of going.
I watched the game. I probably shouldn't have watched it, but I was watching it, and I was so happy.
Just like let's go.
I was watching with Burakovsky and Andre, and he was hurt obviously with lower body, but just watching it with him, we
Lavoie says lower body.
I can't
body
give
too. It's like we're in the middle of the playoffs right now.
I couldn't tell.
Can't tell. I'm some big media guy here.
But yeah, we watched it together, and both of us were like, let's go, let's go, and you just wanted to go back and play.
That's when you started feeling better, right? Yeah, you just woke up the next day. You're like, I feel good now. I'm ready to go.
I got to get back out here. I got to. I know I missed a couple of games, obviously against Dallas, and to kind of get back, I felt good. The first game was just kind of getting back into like the motions and stuff like that, because I was off for 2.5 weeks, and And then you step right back into playoff hockey, and it's, you know.
Did you feel the pace right when you stepped on?
Right away.
Because I know that series, I didn't think I wrote on Twitter, but I just remember thinking it was like some of the fastest north-south hockey that I'd seen in a long time. It was like puck battles and tracking was just so quick. And did you just have like a little step back, or did you just jump right into that?
First game, I had I felt a little bit slow.
Yeah.
You know, I even watched the video afterwards, but I didn't look like I was slow. I just kind of felt it.
Yeah.
But after that game, I felt great getting back into it. You know, I felt like I could hit again. I felt like, you know, I didn't want to be a step behind. I didn't want to hurt the team. Right. So I had to be, you know, I had to go out there and I had to lay the body. I had to, you know, show them that I'm good. Right. So I could keep playing. And, it worked out well. You know, I got to contribute a bit. Obviously, you know, they're a deep team and they got, you know, a tough back end, big guys that can skate and move.
Big and mobile. Hey?
Yeah, big and mobile. So, you know, that series against Vegas, those two were, you know, they were two big teams.
Looking back on you, that's kind of a culmination of everything you've kind of been through. And I know you come from some humble beginnings in Stratford. And when I look back on, you know, my minor hockey and growing up, my parents were a big inspiration on me. I think that's the same thing for a lot of kids growing up. I was going to say in Canada, but any, you know, hockey family growing up, you really lean on your parents a lot. And I know that's something that's close to you and near and dear to your heart. Was that the same situation for you with your parents, particularly your mom?
Yep.
Maybe part of your inspiration, or you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, both my parents are very hardworking people, and my dad was in the construction business for a long time in Stratford. And you know, he worked his way up to be the owner of the company. And my mom was she's an amazing woman. She's had MS since she was 16, I believe, and it was tough as a kid growing up. Kind of, I didn't know what it was and why, like, my mom couldn't do things that other moms could, you know what I mean? So, but it was like, she's a warrior. She really is. She's a fighter. And, you know, she's somebody that I look up to when it comes to work ethic and trying not to, obviously, I catch myself sometimes be like, complaining about little things. And then at the end of the day, it's like, oh, I'm healthy. You know, I have a great opportunity, a great life. So when you see, you know, somebody who's battling an illness every day, that you catch yourself a little bit more growing up, and so eventually you just like, yeah, I can't do that. Sure. So,
and I know you got a tat on your back.
I do, yeah. I have a tat from my mom. That was the first one I got. I was 16 when I got it, and she was pretty happy about it, so it's pretty cool.
Oh, she was happy. She didn't mind the ink. I know.
I didn't know if she was. I didn't really ask my parents if tattoos were okay or not okay. I just like kind of just did it, and you know, it wasn't coming from a bad spot, right? So it's just something that I thought was pretty cool, and So does your mom still watch the games? Do you think of that as kind of an inspiration to you? Are you actively thinking, you know, of her as an inspiration in your daily life playing hockey? Yeah, definitely. Just like the way you carry yourself, the way mentally you act, like kind of just like portray yourself, that kind of thing. And you know, my dad is a very, you know, straight to the point guy. I mean, he doesn't construction for 40 years. He'll do that to you. 50 years, he'll do that to you, right? Like just straight to the point. Don't bullshit. Just tell it how it is, right? Yeah. Don't sugarcoat things. And I felt like that was, you know, that was good for me to kind of learn from and continue. But my mom, she does watch the games a little bit, mostly when we're on the East Coast, obviously being out there. The games that start at 10:30 sometimes. So it's a little tough for her to stay up past. Her curfew's, I think, 11. So, I do think about my mom a lot. She's a huge inspiration for me. And, you know, it's eventually, you know, in the NHL, I have a platform now where I could, you know, potentially do something with the MS Foundation and go from there. I know in Pittsburgh, when I was there, we had a really good connection. You know, I'd leave tickets for them, and you know, they would come around and meet. They got to meet my mom too, and kind of hear her story and her experiences. And originally my mom's adopted, so you know, just my brother's also adopted.
Yeah,
so
I heard you have I do. Your brother's is adopted.
Yeah, my brother Justin is adopted. You know, he's from Guatemala.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. Originally, having MS, obviously, my mom didn't know if she could, you know, have kids or conceive, right? So they adopted my brother Justin from Guatemala, and I think maybe like a year later she got pregnant with my sister Jamie. Wow. And and then 4 years later, I kind of just came along.
There comes Jared.
Yeah,
that's
just
awesome.
Came out of
That's
nowhere.
So cool. Talk to me about your experience on draft night. End up going to Vancouver. Mm-hmm. You have that famous interview with Duthie after. It's so funny. You must have had
people reminded me that all the time, man.
You must have had some media training after I was dying.
I did.
You just said like, it is what it is.
Yeah,
or whatever.
That phrase
might have caught some bounce back from that, but
it was just more of the way I meant it. Obviously, obviously it was the wrong phrase to choose, but it is what it is. As in, like, I still have so much work to do. I still have so much time that I need to put into the game and to training and everything like that to be able even to play for the Canucks. So, for the people who that obviously I tried to explain myself afterwards, but it didn't really go too well. So I just tried to eat that one and try to learn from it and move on, right? And
so you prepared like as much as you could that summer. I'm sure you got in the best shape possible. You go to Vancouver. You're walking around that dressing room. Sedin twins are there. Pretty intimidating atmosphere, I'm assuming, for a young kid coming out of junior. What was that like?
Yeah, so my first year actually for training camp, I ended up getting mono.
Oh no!
Yeah, my 18-year-old training camp, I had to leave because I had mono, and didn't really get to do much that year. I went back to junior and played for Kiefer there in the Sioux, and but the year after that, I had a great opportunity to meet or to join the team, and we had Willie Desjardins was a coach there, and
I played for him in Texas.
Yeah. No, I had Willie there, and the atmosphere was definitely very stressful. I'm a young kid, 19 years old, trying to find my way in the NHL, and having the Sedins there, they were great guys. They were easy to talk to. Yeah, very quiet.
Can you talk about that some more? Like, I just can't even imagine. My first year in the league, I was 23 years old. Yeah, and I can't even imagine.
I was afraid.
Being that age. Were you afraid?
I was afraid. I was terrified to go up and to talk to them.
To ask any questions or
myself
anything?
Personally. Yeah, I was just like, I don't want to step on toes. I don't want to, what I mean? So,
just make sure you're in the meetings on time.
Yeah, be in the meetings on time. So, Alex Edler was there too. Like, we had some very veteran guys. Alex Burrows. Burr he was awesome. Being able to play with him. My first game in Calgary, I think I was on the wing with them, with him and Brandon Sutter and Lyndon Vay and a bunch of other guys. I was with Bo.
Yeah.
So
it was, I guess Bo would have been a guy that you came up with probably, right?
Yep. Yeah. So it was great, but learning experience, right? Obviously, I learned the business side of the game the next year.
So what happens that summer? Like, I just think it's so rare to see a first rounder, first of all, after his rookie season, get traded, because you've said it a couple of times. It's a business. You kind of realize that when a team trades you, it's either maybe they can't make it work cap wise, but it's essentially like they've given up. They've kind of given up on you, right? Yeah. And you're so young at the time. Mm-hmm. That's a learning experience. Is it a case of, did it just not work out in Van, or were you not mentally ready for the NHL at the time? But like, you've had some time to look back on it now.
Yeah. No, I personally think that, I could have used a year in the AHL. I really do. Mentally, I think it would have helped me. Physically, it would have helped me. I was 172 pounds playing the NHL as a 19-year-old. You get tossed around pretty
some big D-men back then.
Some big D-man, yeah. I'll never forget. I think Lars hit me. Adam Larson, when he was playing for Jersey, hit me behind the net. It's probably on YouTube. You could find it, but just knocked the wind right out of me. I was just dying on the ice, and I'm very thankful for obviously everything that I've been through as a player. Yeah. I think they did give up on me early. I really do. Mentally, it affected me a lot. I was in a dark place for, it's like, as a young player, you just want to play and get an opportunity to play in the NHL. It's a dream, right? And then get traded after your first year of, getting a, obviously a decent opportunity. So it was tough.
So I want to dig into Vancouver a little more here. When I was doing some research on the interview, there was this clown that played in Utica that I used to chase around the ice because he would dodge hits. I would ask him to scrap probably every game, 6'6", but played like he was 5'6". His name was Andre Padan. And he had some quote and it said on Jared McCann, he acted as a lonely star. And I just read that and I was just like, first of all, kind of what an idiot, because I know that's like not you. But I mean, is that a case of, would you chalk something like that up to just you being quiet? Like how was your experience in Vancouver as a rookie and like probably not having a lot of guys your age around there? And like,
no, I don't really know Andre Padan that much, but you know, when I was in Vancouver, like I said before, I was 19, 18 years old and just scared, you know, didn't want to step on any toes, didn't want to talk to anybody because I was nervous. Yeah. It's not that, you know, it's not that I'm trying to make myself better than anybody else. I'm just like, I don't have anything to say. And, you know, if you want to come up and talk to me, like we could have a conversation for sure. But like as a young player, like I'm still trying to get to know everybody and figure out like where my place is, right? Like that's how it was. And maybe it was taken in the wrong context. I'm not sure, but you know, I just you know, kind of mentally tried not to focus on it too much, but it did affect me a little bit because I was asked about it in the media quite a few times, and just, you know, I've had to defend myself quite a few times, but I'm really just quiet when it comes to that stuff, right? Especially as a 19-year-old. I
can see how that can be taken, you know, a different way. And, you know, you mentioned going into dark place. Mm-hmm. And so I think when every hockey player hears dark place, what I attribute that to is kind of loneliness. When I think of darkness, like when I think of times in the minors, I think of Stockton, Albany, places where Springfield, where you go down and maybe your head's not in the best place, but it's a tough question. Can you take me to that dark place? And like what were you feeling? What were you going through there?
Oh, well, just miserable, like to my family, to, you know, my friends. I didn't want to talk to anybody. It was more of just kind of isolating myself, you know, and just like trying to hide from the world, that kind of thing, right? Because you don't want to get, you know, pointed out. You just want to kind of hide. And I felt like, you know, a lot of people have been through that and go through it, and they're still going through it nowadays. And you know, it's a tough place to get out of. That's why, like, when I got to Pittsburgh, you know, I had guys like Jeff Carter and Patrick Marleau, and guys who just kind of like would just ask me about other things, not even just hockey. Like, I don't want to talk about hockey all the time, obviously.
Make you feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah, like as a human being, right? Like, go out of their way to sit down with me, have a beer. You know, what's like,
yeah,
you know,
it means the world,
right?
It
does. It really does. Like and that's something that I feel like I've really learned from that. You know, I want to bring that into my game moving forward as an older player, I guess, now that I'm getting old, but, just try to, you know, go out there and help your teammates, you know, don't just make it about you. Just, you know, go out there and is he okay? Like,
do you see yourself?
If he's not, then let's go hit the driving range. Let's go.
Oh, that's cool.
Do something.
When you look at a guy's hockey DB, I don't want to call them red flags, but when I see you full year Vancouver, start the next year in Florida, I think you played 26, 29 games. Then you go to Springy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Springy.
I've done 3-3s in Springy.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about top 5 worst places to play in pro hockey. I don't know if it's actually that bad, but when I look at a 40-game stretch in Springfield after a year removed from playing in the NHL, that's what I call dark times. Yeah. Right? Yeah, that's what I call, when I would look back in my career, that's a real adjustment. And I'm sure it was for you, going from flying a charter plane to eating cold chicken parm on the bus in a 3-3, right?
Yeah, Subway.
Subway.
Lived off of Subway.
It must have been an adjustment for you.
It was definitely. It was definitely very, very humbling. You know, you go from having the top, you know, being on an amazing team to going down to the minors, riding the bus for 9 hours, and but it was kind of similar in the Sioux, the bus ride. So I wasn't too taken back.
You're used to it, eh?
Yeah. No. So Springy, it was great. I enjoyed my time there, man. I really did.
It was
one of the best things that to ever happen to me was going down the minors.
Really?
I played 20 minutes a night for Jordy Kinnear.
Yeah.
Just got my game back. You know, I had a 4-goal game at the end of the season, and I just
so you soaked in the experience.
My swagger,
you were like accepting of the challenge and of the experience, because how many guys have you seen? How many guys have I seen that get sent down and they're just pissed.
Yeah,
it's pout. It's get me out of this organization, instead of just putting your work hat on and like just showing up.
Yeah, no, I was pissed for sure. Like I was upset, but I didn't want to show it. I just wanted to, like you said, put your work hat on, just learn, go down there, work hard, do, you know, my first couple games in the minors. I think I was scratched for like 15 games or 10 games in Florida. So I hadn't played an actual game in like 3 weeks, 3-4 weeks, maybe a month. I don't know. But so when I got
which
down
doesn't
to minors,
sound a lot,
but
like a lot,
yeah.
man. But you're talking about, you can get bag skated as much as you want. That game shape is a completely different thing.
Completely different.
And the physicality of it in general too, right?
The speed, everything. So when I got down the minors, I didn't start off great. Points wise, I wasn't doing too good, but you know, Jordy kept sticking with me, kept putting me out there, power play, penalty kill, everything. I was playing everything. And my confidence just kept growing and growing and growing. You know, I had a hat trick, I had a 4-goal game. I just continued to get better. So, you know, there's so many people I have like to thank for the experiences that I went through.
Yeah. Was it coaching? Did you have some veteran players that maybe you look back on and maybe people you leaned on? Florida
had a pretty young team when I was there. Not many older players. Like I played with Sean Thornton on a line with him, and
I fought Thornton.
Yeah, he's he's a tough guy. You know,
I heard he's the man though.
Oh, he was great. He was awesome, and I enjoyed my time with him, and really good guy to talk to too about that kind of stuff, right? So, but players wise, like got to play with Yogs. You know, it was pretty amazing.
What was that like?
It was
he
good.
was in Dallas for training camp with me. I remember he had the skate weights.
Yep. Yeah, the best.
And I don't know if you've heard something similar, but I heard Yogs had an extra key for the practice rink or whatever from the equipment guys. Yeah. So he would go into the rink at like midnight and stuff like that. Did you ever see anything like that?
Yeah, no, I wasn't there at midnight, obviously. So I don't know if he was there, but you know, Tommy Powers and he was our trainer there at the time. They did a lot of work together. So, but Yogs had 2 stalls in the corner. Everybody usually has one, right? So he had 2 stalls in the corner, and I was the guy beside the second stall. So it was pretty cool. He had like his game gear. I think he has practice gear there, but and all his weight vests and he carried a big. I was terrified again.
Same. Still
again, yeah. Like I was, 20 years old now, and then, it was very terrifying.
Well, I guess my question was going to be like, at what age did you stop being terrified? But then you get traded to Pitt, and I would be even more scared going into that locker room. It just kind
of ramped up. It just every team I went to, it just ramped up. Like, just I don't know. Do I talk to him? Do I not talk to him?
Yeah. Pittsburgh was the one where you got traded and you were on like you barely made the game, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that? I think that's the one where you got there like after warm up or something like that.
Yeah. So the guy I got traded with, Nick Bukestad. Yeah. He actually told me that I was traded.
Wait, he physically told you?
Yeah. So I was just coming home. We were playing Nashville that night. I was just coming home from morning skate, and I was with my girlfriend at the time. We were just kind of hanging out on the couch, and I was about to go down for a nap because I was playing. And then Bukestad called me. He's like, "Hey, do you want me to grab your gear?" So I'm like,
like what?
Why do I need my gear? Like, he's like, "Have they not called you yet?"
No.
No. Sorry. So ended up finding out afterward that
what was the next call? Who's
Eric Joyce. I believe he was the assistant GM in Florida at the time, and he gave me a call and told me the whole situation.
That's just great communication, though.
Yeah, no, I don't know if a phone number got mixed up or something like that, but it was definitely very I wouldn't say concerning, but I was just like, oh. Okay, it's like kind of a weird way to find out, you know what I mean? So, and it happens a lot, I hear nowadays with players.
Crazy.
They find out through social media that they're being traded.
Oh, we just had Brownie on for the last episode. He found out at a wedding in the summer at like midnight that he was getting traded.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess that's the way you find out nowadays.
You get to step into a locker room with my personal favorite player of all time. Like I kind of grew up in my teens as soon as Sid was coming into the league, and I heard a great story. I played a bit with James Neal, and when he got traded to Pitt, I remember seeing him in the summer, and I asked him about playing with Sid, and he said he didn't like playing with Sid because anytime he like didn't make a play or made a mistake, like he'd come back and try to apologize, and Sid'd be like, don't apologize, just do it right, like do the right thing, like there was no margin for error. He just expected so much from you.
Yeah.
Did you feel any pressure like that on the ice or off the ice maybe not even playing on his line, but just being on the bench with him. There was a great mic'd up clip where he's just like, he leans over to you, he's like, you don't worry, you can carry the pill all the way up, like carry the mail all the way up, you know? Yeah. Like, did you feel pressure playing with him or that you had to be up to a certain standard?
Yeah, on myself though. Like, it wasn't coming from him at all. It was more myself. Like, I want to stay playing with Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was more myself putting pressure on me every single game to just, make the right play. Don't turn the puck over and find Sid. That was in my head the whole time.
Were you're literally thinking that? Like,
find Sid. Yeah. Cause it's, he's obviously, the best player, one of the best players to ever play the game. So, obviously you want to find the good players. And, I learned pretty quickly that just to kind of like try to calm down and, play my game. Cause my game, like, I'm a shooter, and he's an amazing passer. So our games kind of clicked pretty quickly. And obviously having Jake Getzel on the other side too was
it's not bad.
Not bad at all. Yeah. Right. So, Jake is a very underrated player. And
I was just thinking of
two-way player, man. He's a very underrated. He can do it all. He blocks shots. He's physical. He's a very valuable team.
I think about Jeff Carter too. And I heard were you a Kings fan growing up? Is that
huge
true?
Kings fan? Yeah.
Why LA?
I don't know. My mom and dad got me this Kings jersey. Forever, I thought it was the coolest thing. It was the black one with the silver. Yeah. The silver Kings logo. Did it have someone
on the back, or was it blank, or just like?
I think it was blank, but I don't know if we ended up getting like a Wayne Gretzky 99 put on there or something like that. But yeah, no, that's where it started. I got a jersey, and there was a couple of photos of me when I was a kid wearing it, and it was just Jeff Carter. He was.
So now you're playing with him.
Yeah,
right?
a Cartsy.
And like, it's just another vet that I've never played with, but man, we've watched him play World Juniors, and like he's an absolute legend, winning cups. What's an experience like playing with a guy like that?
It was awesome. He was one of the few guys that I've played with, older guys that I've played with, that would like constantly just talk to you, and like not even about hockey, just kind of like shoot the shit and just kind of take your mind away from the game sometimes, and what I needed personally. So to have him, as a line mate and as a teammate, has been great. It was
like someone you could lean on, like
someone I could lean on. And I learned from him how to be, hopefully I become one of those players and one of those guys in the league that has been around for a long time. Like, if I ever get to play with a young guy, I want to act exactly like Jeff Carter acted to me. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's lessons like that.
It's lessons like that you take from guys like Sid and Jeff, and just kind of, try to put it into a game where I want this kid to feel comfortable.
Well, there was a quote that you had, I don't know if it was bubble year or something. You literally asked him, how do I produce in the playoffs? Do you remember that? Or something like that you went to him and asked?
I did. Yeah. No, I asked him. I just, I had been playing, I think I had 4 or 5 playoff games, but I had a lot of chances, a lot of like, I was hitting the post. I was, goalie was making great saves, or like the plays weren't just coming for me. So I asked him, I was just like, what do I got to do to, like, what do I got to do to help the team? Just like, relax, just relax.
Okay.
Just play.
Just calm down, buddy.
Yeah. Spoken like a guy who's already won cups, right?
Exactly.
So it's like, I know I'm a pretty like high strung guy, right? Sometimes, especially during hockey. And, I just tried to learn to just kind of calm down. And
do you have methods or like modalities that you revert back to kind of calm down? Like, look, dude, I never figured it out. Honestly, getting jacked up before games and being nervous. I also had to scrap guys that were 6'4",
exactly.
250 every other night. I was nervous for those ones. But to be honest, I never found a proven method for me that worked. To calm down and like you say, relax. Like people would be like, relax. I'm like, dude, if I turn this puck over, I'm never going to play again.
Yeah, exactly.
How did you get past that to just be able to just kind of calm down and see the game?
Yeah. Well, for the first, 4 or 5 years of my career, that was, you turn the puck over and they score, like you're not playing the rest of the night. Right? So that's just the way it is. But I found my first year, probably second year in Pittsburgh, that if I just kind of not like take my mind away from the game, but just like kind of like just look around and just, see what's around, like reading the stands, stuff like that. Just look and try to take a deep breath, and then zone back in. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I would come back and be like, okay, I'm ready. Yeah. I'm good. Heart rate's down. Like I feel good.
I just got chills a little bit. I want to be back
in
the game.
Well, because like I'm not going to, bullshit or anything here. Like when I was early in my career and you weren't playing much, right? Like you kind of lose interest in the game. And, you know, it was one thing that I just realized. I was like, when I was, you know, with Florida or with Van and I wasn't playing much or things weren't really going my way, I would just kind of, you know, just like grip my stick and just kind of like slam the bench. And I still do that sometimes, but I catch myself a little bit more. But now I just try to focus on, you know, what I can control and just look around the stands for a bit. Just, you know, think of a song, think of something else that just kind of gets your mind off of it, and then bring yourself back.
It's like that idea of control what you can control, for me, pissed me off because I heard it more than anything in the world, right? Like every single coach would be like, control what you control. And then I got older and I kind of realized what the phrase meant. It's just like, you can't, the only thing you can control is yourself and like the effort you bring every day, the person you are, the teammate you are. Everything else will follow, right? For you, the goals, the assists, the stats, they'll follow. But I would just hear control what you can control and just be like, shut up. Dude. Yeah. Like I'm sick of hearing that. But it's right. You get older, you mature, and then you kind of realize, you know, just calm down a bit and things will fall into place. And I think for me, this is where you started to come in as a player, right? Where in Pitt, you're like starting to get really going and you're like, I kind of get this league now. Like I understand what I have to do to be successful. And then you get traded to Toronto, buddy. Yeah. I know you said you were a Kings fan growing up, but did you like the Leafs? Like, was this like a dream of yours at some point? Like, I want to play for the blue and white?
I think it's, for the most people that come from Ontario, like being a Leaf would be awesome, right? Like it just kind of happened really weird. The whole situation, obviously the expansion draft. I was actually at the cottage at my buddy's cottage in Grand Bend. We were just hanging out on the beach and I got the phone call from Hextall from Pittsburgh there. He was the GM and just telling me that you know, they weren't going to protect me in the expansion draft and that they just wanted to get a pick. Okay. So obviously another business, right? Like that's just the way it goes. Didn't take it personally, and then Kyle called me, Dubas.
So that's the next call. Dubas?
Yeah. Kyle was the next call, and I was like relieved. I was like, oh, they're going to protect me. And then he called me, and it was just kind of a mixed emotion kind of ride, right? Like,
can you tell me what he said? Like,
I just, hey, Jared, you know, how's things going? We talked for a little bit, you know, shoot the shit, and then just kind of went back to hockey. Obviously, it's a weird time, and you know, we're gonna leave you exposed.
Oh, so he told you that?
Yeah, he actually told me. So, which I thought was awesome.
Oh, you know see, I guess this is kind of the thing from the outside was like, I wasn't completely sure if you knew, like, if you weren't sure, like, hey, I might be staying here, you're going, but you knew right away that you were on the move. Yeah.
So, again, just kind of like mixed emotions. I was like, oh, like, you know, you traded for me, but leave me exposed, that kind of thing, right? So when when he told me he was exposed, I thought that was really, you know, great of him to at least tell me, like, okay, we could be in Toronto or we could be in Seattle.
Yeah,
you know,
at least
there's some transparency, right? Like, and you know, Sheldon actually ended up calling me too, and Toronto's coach there. So you know, we talked for a little bit, and it was just a very stressful day.
I heard you take cold plunges, ice baths before the game.
Yeah, I do.
Are you? Is that part of your superstition? Like me, I don't know. If you had guys that play with me, they'd probably say I was the most superstitious guy you've ever seen. But for me, it was just routine.
Oh yeah.
Like I like doing things. Once I got to the rink, I had my little banana and peanut butter sandwich, and then like I went and rolled out. Like guys would see me at the same place. If it was 5:35, they knew where I was, right? But everyone's different. Did that start at home? Like, tell me about your superstition.
Yeah. Like, where does the line start? Like, obviously with like superstitious and then,
exactly.
Yeah. I've played with guys who are like with their warm-ups and their,
can you think of anyone off the top of your head?
I hope he's okay with me telling this. He will be. He's an awesome guy. Ryan Donato.
Oh, is he?
He's, I guess would say, with the most superstitious player I've ever played with by far. And, you know, his warm-up is a full-blown 2.5 hours in the gym, stretching. He would Theragun.
So for me, you don't even have to explain because that was Ryan O'Reilly. Yeah. Like I'm not kidding you. Like there at 4:00 and had his exact design,
sticks, everything,
sticks ready to go, everything. So you don't have to explain to me, but keep going a bit about that kind of routine.
Donnie would Theragun. You know the Theragons, right?
Oh yeah.
He would literally do his entire body. put his legs up on the wall, and then he would do his temple. Have you ever seen
the Theragun on the temple?
Yeah.
No, it's getting too far now.
Yeah,
it's just getting too out of control.
I thought it was pretty funny, but
man, I miss the days of Springy, 3-3 in Springy, 1 o'clock game, get off the bus, Snickers and a coffee, and like let's get going. Let's just grind through this. Now guys are, Theragunning their temple. But
when I was 19, I could step on the ice and just play, right? Like you didn't have to stretch, but as you get older, you need to warm up a bit. So I started cold tubbing before games, and I would do a cold plunge, just kind of
not extended, so just in and out.
I would go in and I'd probably sit in there for like maybe 30 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 15, 30 seconds. And Patrick Marleau used to do that. And
did you get it from him? Or just something you just picked up?
I did it at the same time. I did it at different times than he did, but I would just hop in there and he had a pretty crazy warm up.
This is how I feel the difference between superstition is routine, and routine is like, if you didn't do that stuff, would it mess up the way you played? Would you be like, oh, I didn't get my cold plunge in, like I'm gonna play like crap now?
No.
See, that's just routine for me then.
Yeah,
because it's like, if I don't do it, it's like, if I put my left shin pad on first instead of my right, then I wouldn't be thinking I'm going to play like crap. But some guys, it's just...
Do you have things that you don't even think about then? Like, you know what I mean? That you just like naturally do?
Oh, 100%. I take the same route to games. Tape your sticks the same way.
Yeah,
but I just found it so interesting. It's something I always love to talk about. So I appreciate you giving us some insight on that. For me, I was telling Darren, our producer, this before you got in. So when you train with Matty Nicol, he provides you not only with the on ice and the off ice, but with so many other resources. You know what I mean? Whether it's Pilates or boxing with Jorge. The beach volleyball and, being in the pool. And you were always one of those guys who you tried everything, right? You would be done your workout when I was coming in and I'd say, how was the workout, bud? Good. I'm going over to Legree now, right? To do this. And I kind of always looked at that. And like I said earlier, like I looked up to that. I look up to work ethic. So it doesn't matter if you're 7 years younger than me. I think that's what it is. It's like, man, this kid's working. I got to work too. And you pushed everybody else. And I respect the heck out of that. So best of luck to you next year. Nothing but the best. Let's, you think 50 reps in the works or what?
I'm trying, I'm back with Matty now. So I'm trying to get to 50.
There you go. And then, all the best for you and the Kraken, man. Like I said, Edmonton looks good. Vegas is good, but I think we could see a Stanley Cup appearance here.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, we have, not just one player. We got a bunch of guys who are committed to being a team. And, you saw it last year. So, next season we have a standard now, right, with our team and the way you play. So, I feel like next year it's going to be a good step for us. Obviously, people are going to be doubting us again, but we loved it. We got doubted this year too. I don't think anybody had us to make the playoffs.
Everyone just kept writing you off all year, man.
That's okay.
It's unbelievable.
Hide in the weeds.
You had a smile from ear to ear on your face right now.
I like hiding in the weeds.
Exactly. That's unreal. Well, good luck. All the best next year, buddy. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.